Look at my hair, it's all wet and everything. I'm not really happy today. And according to Albert Ellis, if you've read anything by him, you'll understand that what I'm doing right now is irrational thinking. And I have an irrational belief. Because I am allowing these people to, quote unquote, piss me off. And I have no control over anyone. I have no control over adults or children. I have no control over what they do or what they say or how they think. The only thing I can control is what I do, what I think, what I say, and my actions. And um, this does have to do with autism and Asperger syndrome in a very specific area. And it has to do with black or white thinking, and it has to do with a lot of rules and regulations. And I wish I had my book with me. And it's not with me, it's with a friend of mine, and I let her borrow it, but it's been like 4 or 5 months now, and she's on vacation, and she'll be back in probably about a week, and I'll get it, I'll ask for it. I already sent her an email, but I'll ask for it when she gets back. She wants it, she can buy the book herself, but if I had that book, it would be a lot easier for me to explain to you the principle, the concept behind what I'm going to tell you. Because what I'm going to tell you is of a specific example of what it's like to have Asperger syndrome with regards to rules, regulations, policies, and laws. But I would suggest you read that book, Solutions for Adults with Asperger Syndrome. That will tell you everything you need to know of Asperger syndrome in adults. Not only the symptoms, but also solutions. So this is a very specific example. When you're in school, college, you have a guideline to go by for references. I am in a school right now that uses APA, American Psychological Association, or American Psychology Association. The other one is MLA. I couldn't even tell you what MLA means. Modern Language Association? I don't know. But I was in MSJC that used MLA. And once I got my associate's degree, I transferred to University of Redlands. They used APA. I learned all about the APA and how to reference things in APA. And then I went to Argosy, and Argosy uses APA. And when you're using APA, you need to put the header in the header area, not in the body, not in the first line of the body of the text. And I showed someone how to do this. I gave her the directions through an email and said, this is how you make a header for the 6th edition APA standard. This is how you do it. And I'm sick and tired of telling this person how to do it, and they're sending me, it's a group report. We have group papers to do every week, and I'm tired of telling this person how to do it because they send me their part of the report, or if they're the team leader, because we have to we have to switch team leader, and I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it all because I told this person how to do the header, and oh, someone's eating the baby's food. I gotta go take care of that. So, when it's the leader's turn, that's usually the one that, does the final paper, puts everything together and everything. And it's not APA format. I'm sorry, the header needs to be in the header area. You need to click on insert and header, and then click on different first page, and then click on page number, and then go to the left, and then all caps. Running head's not in all caps. It's just the first letter. Running, R, capital. Head is not capital. It's just a bottom H. And then colon, and then all caps with your title page, whatever it is. And then the other pages need to have a running head too. And this person didn't do that. And I told her how to do it. And I'm so sick and freaking tired of telling her, this is how you do it. You're doing it wrong. It is not up to code. That is not APA. APA is a standard. You can't do it any way you please because it's either black and white. It's either APA or it's not APA. There's no in between. If you get one thing wrong, it's not APA. I'm sorry, it's not. And I was trying to tell him, that without telling him that when you have a quote, not a quote, when you have a in-text citation, you're to put the sentence, whatever it is, regardless if it's a quote or a quote or paraphrase. You don't end the sentence with a period. You have to finish it with a colon, or not a colon, a parenthesis, open parenthesis, the name of the person, comma, year. If it's a paraphrase, you don't put the page number if it's a paraphrase, and then the close parentheses, and then your period. And this person's not doing that. They're putting the period at the end of the sentence and then putting the reference. You don't do it that way. That's not APA. The period goes after the reference. The period goes after the closed, whatever. An example would be like this. She said hello. And say that's a quote or something. And then you say Smith, 1999, page 25. She said hello. Smith, 1991, page, period, 25, in parentheses, period. And this person is doing like this. And this is the second one is wrong. She's saying period after that, and then Smith, and then there's no period. No, you have to have the period like this one up on the top. You have to have the page number there, and it might not be in order, but the big one is the period goes after the closed parenthesis. And I'm tired. I'm tired of telling this person, you know what? Why even bother? Why even bother if telling this person the way it needs to be? If they're not going to listen to me, why should I even care? Why should I even care? You may say, well, that's such a little thing. Well, you tell that to Argosy University. Tell that to them and tell them that it doesn't matter what way your paper looks. They're the ones that want us to use APA. And I've been using it since 2006? I know the difference was between the 5th edition and the 6th edition. And I wish Argosy had a standard of what edition to use. Because some instructors don't freaking care. Some instructors say, oh, you can use the 5th. Some say the 6th. Excuse me, they're different. On the 5th edition, you need to have retrieve from date, as an example, retrieve from URL on March 5th, 2010. In the new edition, in the 6th edition, you don't need the date. You need retrieve from the URL, but you don't need the date. So it makes a difference. In the new edition, in the 6th edition, you don't need to underline your URL. In the new edition, in the 6th edition, it's not blue, it's black. In the 5th edition, you need to underline your URL, and it's blue. I can't stand that blue URL. Personally, I don't like it. But in the new edition, in the 6th edition, it's not underlined, and it's black. In the new edition, you don't have to have a URL if there is a DOI. I believe it's called a direct object identifier, or maybe it's a digital object identifier. And if your paper has a DOI, which it probably would if you're using peer-reviewed journals, it should say right on there, if you go to ProQuest or EBSCOhost or whatever you choose to use, it should say right on there DOI, and it's a long number like 1-877-215-0789125786085. I mean, it'd be long like that, and you just put DOI and then that, because that way your thing will come up, because URLs expire sometimes. So they changed that. And then they changed the way you do your little header too. With the header, I can't remember the way it used to be done in the 5th edition, because I haven't been using the 5th edition for the last 5 months. And when you write so many papers, you get used to it. So what you have to do now is the header is left flush, and the whatchamacallit, oh gosh, the page number is right flush, like this. So you got the, where's my thumb? I don't know where my finger is. So on the left side of the paper, you have your header, and on the right flush, you have your page number. And it's like this, like I said. And this pisses me off. This irks me really bad. So you have your header like this, and it's running, and the R is capitalized. That's just that underline's not, just don't use an underline. And then the head is just like that. You don't use a capital for that. And then for the title, it's all in caps. But this is on every single page. And for your other pages, you don't have this little thing, that running head thing. You don't have it. You don't have that there. It's just the title of the paper. But it's all in caps. And then your thing is right flush. It used to be you spaced 5 times from the page number. It used to be just, space, 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 space. 5 spaces. But now, the title, your running head has to be 5. It has to be flush left. I can't even talk. And these little itty bitty rules these people in my group are not, in my team, they're not doing these little tiny things, and it's black or white thinking. It's either APA or it's not APA. And if you have one thing wrong, it's not APA. And I'm just not really happy. And like I said in the beginning, if you've read anything by Albert Ellis, you will see that what I'm doing is illogical thinking and illogical beliefs, because I do not have to allow them to do this to me, and it is my belief that they should at least say thank you, and acknowledge that I'm trying to help them, and and whatnot. And they're not. They're not even acknowledging that I did the template and everything like that. And the references thing, the little thing of the references has to be centered. It's not left flush. It's centered. And I'm just tired of it. I'm just like, why even bother? Why bother telling people the way it is if they don't want to hear it? That's why I don't like group work, teamwork, because one person wants to do it this way, and one person wants to do it this way, and one person wants to do it this way, and nobody can agree on anything. When it has to be one way, not 3 ways. It makes me sick. It makes me sick.